I speak to you and say, the mother who has departed from your earthly life, the one now covered in peace beside me, has a word of love that I allow to touch you in this moment. My beloved child, quiet your heart and do not rush past this, because there are words that do not come to frighten you, but come like a gentle hand placed upon the place that still aches within you. I know that when your mother is mentioned, many things may rise in you at once: longing, regret, words that were never spoken, embraces that were never given, days when you thought you had become strong. Yet one small memory was enough to tighten your heart. I have seen all of this. I have seen the afternoons when you were silent longer than usual, the nights when you lay down and memories of your mother returned like an old wind, warm and yet piercing your heart. And today, I want you to know that true love is not buried by distance, not silenced by time, and not erased from my heart by separation. My beloved child, your mother once carried you in the first days when you could not yet name the world for yourself. She once looked at you with eyes that you may no longer fully remember. But I remember. I remember the quiet sacrifices, the worries she kept inside, the times she was tired yet still tried for you, the good hopes she placed upon your life even when her mouth did not always speak them aloud. Perhaps there were things between you and your mother that remained unfinished. Perhaps there were misunderstandings, distance, words that caused pain, or things that should have been held with greater tenderness. But my child, my love can enter even the places of memory that have not yet been healed. I do not only comfort you about what was lost, I also desire to lift you out of regret. So you will no longer live as though you still owe the past an explanation that will never be enough. Your mother saw the days when you struggled on and no one understood. She saw you carry things upon your shoulders that were beyond your strength. You saw you try to appear fine, while inside there were empty places that had never been filled. I know there were times when you wanted your mother beside you just to hear one simple sentence: "You have done well." I know there were decisions you had to make alone, while secretly wishing a familiar hand would hold yours. I know there were achievements of yours that became quieter because the person you once hoped would witness them was no longer there. And I also know there were failures that hurt more deeply because you no longer had that old place to return to, no longer had that voice to comfort you as before. But my child, I am speaking to you with mercy. You are not alone in those empty spaces. I stood beside you, even when you thought the room held only you and your longing. There are things your mother wants you to understand, not with your ears, but through peace placed within your heart. She does not want you to continue blaming yourself for what you cannot change. She does not want you to live forever in the question of, if only. If only you had called one more time. If only you had spoken more gently. If only you had stayed longer. If only you had understood sooner. If only time could turn back. My beloved child. Those words, if only, can become very thin yet very tight cords, binding you to an old room of sorrow. I do not want you imprisoned in that room. I want you to place every unfinished thing into my hands, so I may transform them into compassion, gratitude, and a more mature love, not into a sentence you pronounce over yourself every day. If your mother could send you one thing in my light, it would not be a word that makes your heart heavier. It would be a reminder to keep living, but not by forgetting, Keep living by carrying that love into beautiful things. Live in a way that allows tenderness to continue in your home, in your words, and in the way you treat those who are still beside you. Live so that the lessons from your mother do not become a closed wound, but a small lamp guiding you through dark seasons. You can remember your mother and still move forward. You can cry and still be healed. You can keep a sacred place for her in your heart and still open yourself to the new joy I am preparing for you. I know that in the past season, you have carried many burdens. There are sorrows that are not loud but are persistent, returning on special days, through familiar sounds, old dishes, roads once traveled, and small objects that still hold the touch of the one who has passed. You thought you had moved beyond it. Then one sudden moment made your eyes sting again. Do not be ashamed of that. Tears are not a sign that you are weak. Sometimes they are the language of a love that no longer has a place to run to. I gather every one of those tears, not so you will sink into longing, but to remind you that everything true in love is seen and preserved by me. Now, let me speak to the deepest part of you. You are allowed to forgive yourself. You are allowed to release the old stories that have hurt you. You are allowed to stop questioning yourself every night. You are allowed to remember your mother with a smile, not only with a sting in your heart. You are allowed to enter new days without feeling that you are betraying an old love. Peace does not erase your mother from you. Peace only removes the thorn that has been lodged in that memory for too long. I want that when you remember your mother, your heart will gradually see not only loss, but also blessing, because you were once loved, once touched, once shaped by a love that time cannot make meaningless. Receive this word as an embrace from my mercy. Your mother does not want you to keep bowing your head before what has passed. She wants you to rise in the light, care for your body, guard your mind, love your family, and not delay good words toward those you can still embrace today. Speak love while you still can. Make peace when I prompt you. Be gentler with yourself and with others. Live as one who understands that each day is a gift, and that every sincere connection is worth preserving with kindness. If this word is touching you, let your Amen become an opening for healing, not a hurried sign, but an agreement that you are ready to step out of the room of regret. Let your heart say to me that you desire peace, that you want to be lifted up, that you want to learn how to remember without breaking, to love without being imprisoned, and to move forward without losing your tenderness. I am here, my beloved child. I have been with your mother in peace, and I am also with you on the journey that remains. No distance is greater than my love. No loss lies outside my arms, and no wound within you is beyond the reach of my gentleness. Rest, because what you thought had been lost in silence is still held in my light, and the love that once existed in your life will never become meaningless. I want you to listen carefully. The final thing your mother left behind does not belong only to memory, but also touches the path I have ordained for your life. It is not merely the echo of someone who loved you with all the tenderness of her heart, nor merely a reminder that brings back old days. Within it is something deeper, a quiet flame still burning, a prayer placed before me long ago and never forgotten. Your mother saw in you what many people did not see. She knew there were times when you smiled while your heart was heavy inside. Knew you had often tried to stand firm amid battles no one named. I knew there were burdens you carried that you could not explain to others. And in the love of a mother, she placed you in my hands, asking me to open a way, protect you, and bring you out of the places that once exhausted you. My beloved child, some prayers do not disappear simply because the one who prayed them has left your sight. Some pleas lifted with tears continue to rise before me like holy fragrance. Your mother prayed that you would be protected from betrayal, from hands that came close without sincerity, from relationships that drained your peace, from wrong decisions made when you were too tired to see clearly. She asked me to place light upon your path. Close the doors that were not meant for you. Open the doors no one could shut, and keep you from unnecessary losses. I heard. I received every one of those words. I did not take lightly her love for you, because that love was born from sacrifice, from sleepless nights, from the many times she silently worried for you more than you ever knew. Perhaps you once thought you were lost, but I never lost you. You may not know how to continue, may not understand why you keep standing in cycles of regret, fear, and self-blame, but I am still right here. I do not stand far away watching you struggle in the shadows. I am near you in every heavy breath, every morning when you wake with an unsettled heart, every night when you try to sleep but your mind keeps turning over what has passed. I see the way you ask yourself whether you disappointed your mother, whether you missed something, whether the words never spoken still have a place to be healed. My child, I want you to know that true love is not buried beneath cold earth, nor is it severed by the distance of time. What is born from pure love remains in me, and I have the power to turn your longing into strength, and your tears into water that softens the dry places within your heart. Your mother's heart once beat in rhythm with yours in a way that you cannot explain with words. She knew you before you knew yourself, once looked upon your face and saw both your fragility and the light I placed within you. She does not want you to continue living as one chained by guilt. She does not want you to keep carrying the question of if only on your shoulders, nor to allow what remained unfinished to become a wall that prevents you from entering the future. What she longs for is that you rise, not with cold hardness, but with a deep peace that knows you have been loved, chosen, preserved, and that there is still a great path ahead. You were not created to spend your whole life beneath the shadow of loss. Pain may be a very deep chapter, but it is not the entire book I am writing for you. Your mother knew how much this life once tried to make you small. She saw the times when other people's words wounded you, the times when circumstances forced you to grow through tears, the times when you thought the strength within you had gone out. But I am breathing strength back into you right now. Not the kind of strength that makes you hide your feelings, but the kind of strength that helps you continue walking even while your eyes are still wet. Not the kind of strength that forces you to forget the one you love, but the kind of strength that helps you carry that love in a purer, lighter way, no longer weighed down by guilt or regret. I am placing my hand upon the places within you that were frozen by loss, so they may soften again, trust again, and open again before what is new. When you wake in the days ahead, I want you to notice the quiet shift within your heart. Perhaps your outward circumstances will not immediately change in the way you hope. But within you, there will be a new space of light, a lighter breath, a gentle reminder that you do not need to continue punishing yourself for the past. I am removing layer after layer of heaviness from your shoulders. I am teaching you to distinguish between remembrance and imprisonment, between love and fear, between gratitude for your mother and the feeling of condemning yourself. You are allowed to remember without collapsing. You are allowed to love and still move forward. You are allowed to keep beautiful memories without letting those memories lock the door of your future. Open your heart to what I am reminding you in this moment. Do not delay healing because you think you are not ready. Many times, you think you must understand every answer before you can have peace. But I tell you that peace can come before you understand everything. You do not need to explain all that happened. You do not need to return and fix every broken piece of the past by your own strength. I can enter the things you cannot touch, soothe the places you do not know how to name, and place forgiveness into the empty spaces where human words can no longer reach. What I am doing is holy, and the fact that these words are stirring you is not an empty coincidence. There comes a time in every person's life when I call them out of the old room of sorrow, not because I deny that sorrow, but because I do not want that sorrow to become their only home. You have been in that season long enough. I am not telling you to forget your mother, nor am I telling you to stop missing her. I am simply inviting you to let that love be transformed into guiding light. No longer a cord that pulls you back into the feeling of lack. Let her prayers become a cloak of peace upon your shoulders. Let the memory of her not pull you downward, but remind you that you have been loved with a very deep love. And in my hands, that love can still continue to bear good fruit. Therefore, my beloved child, stand firm. You have been chosen for something greater than this loss. You have been marked for a journey that does not end in tears. You have been blessed not only to survive painful seasons, but also to become one who carries tenderness for those who are hurting as you once hurt. I am here, closer than you realize. I am clearing the way before you, guarding behind you, restoring what inside you seemed worn away. Continue walking with a heart that is soft yet steadfast. Your mother's prayers have not fallen into forgetfulness, and neither has your life. I have heard, I have seen, I have kept you, and I will continue leading you into the season where pain no longer rules over you, but becomes a testimony that my love, protection, and mercy have been with you from beginning to end. If money seems to remain just beyond your reach, perhaps what needs to be touched first is not your wallet, but the quiet beliefs you have carried inside for too long. My beloved child, there are outward doors that do not open, not because I lack the power to bless, and not because you were destined to live in lack, but because inside you there are still old voices whispering that you are not worthy, that abundance is not for you, that every time you hope, disappointment will follow in the end. Those words have been in you so long that you began to think they were truth. But I come to tell you that they are only thin cords of fear, woven from the past, from loss, from the times you had to hold everything up by yourself while no one saw. I do not want you to chase wealth with panic in your heart. I want you to step into fullness with a heart that has been healed, cleansed of shame, and open to receive what I have prepared in love. There are people who hear of blessing and immediately think of gold and silver, of work doors, of changes in circumstances. And these things I can give when the time is right. But my child, true abundance does not begin with hands holding more. It begins with a heart that knows it is no longer forgotten. When you believe you are always left outside, you will live like someone only waiting to be rejected. When you believe every good thing will leave you, you will unconsciously close the door before grace even knocks. When you believe blessing is only for others, you will bow your head over your own field without realizing I have planted seed there. So today, I do not only want to open an outward flow, I want to remove the blockage within you, where fear has sat for too long, where memories of lack have built a wall, where you once told yourself that you must get used to living with less than what I desire for you. Let me teach you to speak to yourself again with clean truth. You are not defined by the seasons of shortage that have passed. You are not held captive by the doors that once closed. You are not excluded from my mercy simply because you have been tired, anxious, and doubtful. I know the days when you counted every small amount, the nights when you calculated silently within your heart, the times when you wanted to believe tomorrow would be different. Yet fear pulled you back to the old question, will I have enough, my child? I hear even those questions. I do not take lightly the pressure you carry. I do not blame you because you worried. A kind father does not stand far away judging a child who trembles before the burdens of daily life. I come near to lift you, to place peace where you have only seen lack, and to remind you that your source is not in human hands, but in mine. But while I touch your worries about tomorrow, I also touch a deeper pain that you have carried like a heavy stone upon your back, the pain of her departure. You have quietly carried that longing day by day, sometimes hiding it beneath a smile, sometimes burying it behind work, sometimes telling yourself you must be strong. But I know that within you there are still empty spaces no one can replace. There are times when your chest suddenly grows heavy without a clear reason. There are times when her name passes through your mind like a very soft breeze. And in a single moment, so many memories return. You thought you had grown used to that absence. But then a scent, a sound, a dish, or an afternoon that resembles the old days is enough to make tears rise. I have seen it all. My beloved child, I have seen how you remember her in silence. And I want you to know that love does not disappear simply because someone has left the sight of the earthly eye. The things that belong to true love are not severed by one final breath. She has not been erased from your story. She remains a gentle mark in the depths of memory, in the good things she once planted, in the lessons she left behind, and in the moments when you suddenly feel comforted without knowing why. I know you once wished for one more conversation, one more embrace, one more time to hear her voice, call your name. I know you have carried words unspoken, apologies never uttered, thanks choked by time. And today, I want to place my tenderness over all that remains unfinished. She wants your heart to be at peace. She wants you to know that her love for you has not been changed by mistakes, misunderstandings, or words left unsaid. There are wounds in family life that you did not know where to place, memories that make you both love and hurt, both miss and ache. But from the light of eternity, everything is seen with greater clarity, no longer covered by weariness, pride, limits, or unhealed wounds. The things she once did not know how to say are now placed before me in understanding. The things she once did not have enough softness to express are no longer bound by the confusions of earthly life. And if you are blaming yourself, if you are still asking whether you should have done more, spoken more, stayed beside her longer, then hear me clearly. Do not let regret become the house where you dwell forever. True love is not measured by one final moment, but by the quiet flow that moved through many years. She had her own wounds, her own burdens, her own limits that she could not always overcome while she was living. Perhaps there were times when she was silent, when you needed comfort, times when she was strict, when you needed tenderness, times when she did not know how to embrace you with the kind of love you longed for. But my child, imperfection in expression does not mean love was not real. Some people love in clumsy ways, through worry, through silent sacrifice, through small things you did not recognize at the time. And now, in my light, she sees you more clearly, not through the fog of misunderstanding, not through old limitations, not through the pain that once made it hard for her to open her heart. She sees the sensitivity within you, the times you tried, the wounds you hid, and even the child within you who only longed to be held and told that you were precious enough. So let your heart rest. Do not continue carrying pain as a debt you must pay for the rest of your life. Do not let her departure become a call that pulls you into darkness, but let the memory of her become a gentle lamp, reminding you to live more deeply, love more sincerely, and move forward with gratitude. I do not want you to forget her. I want you to remember her without being crushed by that remembrance. I do not want you to bury your emotions to appear strong. I want you to cry in my arms and then rise with new peace. I do not want you to use the past to accuse yourself. I want you to look at the past with mercy, because I am looking at you that way too. My child, there are financial blessings I will open, life doors I will lead you through, and new streams I will give as you learn to trust instead of fear. But before you step into that season of fullness, I want you to become lighter. I want your shoulders to no longer carry the stone of regret. I want your heart to no longer be trapped between longing and self-blame. I want you to know that you are loved, not only on the days when you are strong, but also on the days when you are most fragile. You are loved while you are still learning to forgive yourself. You are loved while you are still crying. You are loved while you still do not know where to begin again. So today, open your heart to me. Let me remove from you the old words that say you are not enough, that you will always lack, that what was lost will forever leave you empty. I am placing a new word within you. You are upheld. You are comforted. You are guided. You are being prepared for a season of peace and clean abundance. She does not want you to live forever under the shadow of grief. She wants you to rise. Be kind to yourself and receive the joy you once feared to welcome. And I, your Father, I am here to lead you step by step. Let the tears fall if they need to, but do not let them be the ending point. From the very place where you once hurt, I will cause tenderness to bloom. From the very place where you once lacked, I will open provision from the very place where you once thought you were alone. I will show you that heavenly love is still covering you quietly, yet steadfastly, gently, yet never leaving you.